When we speak about charisma, we have certain picture of charismatic people giving speech or entrepreneurs running business. But do you know that there are 4 styles of charisma and they have their own goals, their own mission? So you need to choose between these 4 styles of charisma. So which one do you need to choose? When, in which situations, and more important, in the end of this video, I will tell you which charisma style suits you best. So how to choose the right style for you. Make sure to watch until the end. I'm Ayla, a PhD student in School of International Relations. So this theory of 4 charisma styles is taken from the book The Charisma Myth. I strongly recommend you to read this book. And the author is giving lectures in Harvard, Stanford, MIT and United Nations. So the book is based on scientific research. That's why make sure to check it. And while speaking about charisma styles, I will divide my speech in 3 parts. In the first part, I will explain what does this charisma style means. In the second, how to develop exactly this charisma. And in the third one, I will tell you in which situations it is better to implement exactly this type of charisma. So first charisma style is focus charisma. Focus charisma is based on the perception of full presence. When people have feeling that you are fully present here in the room and you are listening to them carefully and observing everything that they say, because people like being heard and understood. But if you become laser focused, it gives us the feeling that we're in an interview or even worse, in an interrogation. That's why you need to balance focus charisma with warmth and acceptance. How to develop focus charisma? You need to practice mindfulness, and in my previous video I was speaking about mindfulness techniques. You can check it, but briefly speaking, mindfulness technique is when you switch your focus in your toes, your fingers, you bring yourself back to this room, you look around and you give your full attention. Once you are back here, you give your full attention to your interlocutor. So that was about developing. Let's switch to the situations when we can use focus charisma. It is highly effective in business when you need people to open up and share information. It can be very useful in difficult situations, in difficult conversations, and while diffusing hostile conversations, in international companies or anywhere in your life. It is a great charisma style for lawyers, consultants, managers, accountants, and financial advisors. On the other hand, you need to avoid focus charisma in emergencies, when you need to appear authoritative and you need to take full responsibility and make decisions. So can you imagine the situation, emergency situation, when you're a leader and you are implementing focus charisma, listening to all members of your organization. So that would take a lot of time, and actually they would lose their belief because leader doesn't take the responsibility. So in emergencies, don't use focus charisma. So let's switch to the second charisma style. It is visionary charisma. Visionary charisma makes others feel inspired and is based on belief. In the world of uncertainty, we need something solid to cling to. That's why vision charisma is highly effective. Visionary charismatics are not necessarily likable, but they have strong belief in their vision, and their vision should include certain amount of nobility and altruism. For example, Steve Jobs possesses this visionary charisma. He doesn't sell computers, he sells the vision of better life, the promise of better life. While speaking about Steve Jobs, you can remember that he's wearing black t-shirt, and that's right, as in this charisma style, in visionary charisma, appearance is less important than in other charisma styles. You can wear rags but still convey visionary charisma. And with the help of body language, you must seem inspired. When you are inspired, people get this inspiration from you because they believe that you have something to be inspired. So you have certain vision, you have something that you can share, and you can lead people. How to develop visionary charisma? So you need to free yourself from uncertainty, and there are certain techniques like responsibility transfer and rewrite reality. How to rewrite reality? I will give you an example and it would be much clearer. So let's imagine that you're driving and a car cuts in front of you. So you may react in an angry way and say that this is a reckless driver. You will think about this reckless driver the rest of the day, and it has full potential to spoil your whole day. But if you rewrite your reality, you may think that probably the driver was a woman, was a mother, and she had her baby choking in the back seat. So that's why probably she lost her control and cut you in the traffic jam. Second situation, you may imagine that probably the driver had a pregnant wife in his car and they had to get on time to the hospital. That's why he was driving in that way. So when you rewrite reality in a positive way, you become more charismatic. Next technique is responsibility transfer. So let's imagine that you have a weight of responsibility on your shoulders, responsibility of certain event or of certain people, and you switch your mind. You take this burden from your shoulders and replace it on the shoulders of universe, fate, or whatever you believe. So in this way you also feel much more confident and you can possess visionary charisma. When to use visionary charisma? It is highly effective when you need to inspire people and especially boost creativity. Visionary charisma to inspire people and to boost creativity. Third charisma style is kindness charisma. So kindness charisma based on complete acceptance. When people feel that they are welcomed, cherished, and 100% accepted, it comes from body language, especially from your face and your eyes. So when you have warmth in your eyes, so you show kindness charisma. How to develop kindness charisma? You need to practice warmth with certain tools, such as compassion, gratitude, every day be grateful for what you have, self-compassion, and goodwill. So when to use kindness charisma? Anytime you want to create emotional bond with people and make people feel safe and comfortable. It is critical in some situations. For example, when you need to deliver bad news, you need 100% use kindness charisma. Also, while having difficult conversation with difficult people, also kindness charisma will help you. But it is a heavy burden to show your kindness charisma, as people feel over-attached to you and they always want to have some part in your life. But there are so many people, and leader with kindness charisma is just one. He cannot and you cannot find time for all of these people. So you need to switch your attention to them, to switch your focus. You need to give people sense of ownership of your success. When they feel that they have a hand in making you, they feel much better and they don't want to be attached to you constantly every day. So you need to demonstrate exactly how the person helped you, how he changed your life, which his ideas, in which situations your mindset was transformed completely, so that they would feel better and wouldn't like to be attached with you. So that was the downside of kindness charisma. And there is a second downside, is that people, there is a risk that they would speak too much. So they would tell you something that they were not planning, but because of your kindness, people would like to share more. That's why you need to interrupt people. That's the only case, almost the only, when you can do that. You need to interrupt people when you feel that they would regret the next day about telling you their stories. So listen carefully and find the right time when to interrupt them and not let them speak too much, tell you too much, because next day they would regret and they wouldn't like to see you anymore. Now let's switch to fourth charisma style. It is authority charisma. The human reaction to authority runs deep and it is hardwired in our brain. Those who possess authority charisma are not necessarily likable. It is primarily based on the perception of power and belief that this person has power to change our world. How to develop authoritative charisma? You need to display signs of status and confidence. So confidence with taking up too much space with your posture. So, when you sit insecure, you take very little space. But when you're confident with your body language, you take up too much space. Also reduce constant non-verbal reassurance by excessive nodding. That's not a confident posture. And the last one, avoid fidgeting. You need to know how to speak less, more slowly, when and how make pauses, and how to modulate your intonation. Once you have authoritative charisma, the main advantage is that you would be 100% listened and obeyed. But there are certain disadvantages. Authoritative people are constantly criticized. They don't get the right and the whole information, and as people don't feel confident to share the information with them, that's why there is a risk that you wouldn't receive the information that you need. And the third one, they may feel that you are an arrogant person. That's why if you implement authoritative charisma, it's better to add warmth, and you would balance your charisma styles. So when to use authoritative charisma? It may be effective in business, while in any situation when you need immediate compliance, obedience, and you need being heard. But avoid authoritative charisma in social meetings such as weddings, funerals, sensitive business situations such as delivering bad news, or when you need to encourage creativity and get constructive feedback. In these cases, use visionary, focus and kindness charisma. And now the main part of this video, it is how to choose the right charisma style for you and how to understand which suits you best. So there are 3 indicators according to which you may choose the right charisma style exactly for you. So the first indicator is your personality. So don't betray your principles and your values while choosing charisma style. If being authoritative is not exactly for you, then don't choose this charisma style. Second is your goal. So what do you need to achieve right now? If you need complete obedience, then it is authoritative charisma. If you need to boost creativity, you need visionary charisma. If you need someone to feel comfortable, probably share information, then you need kindness charisma. And the third indicator is the situation. So is it a crisis or a business case and you're working on a project, you need to boost creativity. As I've said, in crisis, you need to take full responsibility and use authoritative charisma, for example. Also, remember that you don't have to limit yourself to one charisma styles. You can mix and match them. For example, add some kindness to your authoritative charisma or confident authority into your focus charisma. While choosing the right style, check first your emotional and mental state. If you don't feel confident, you cannot pull off authoritative charisma. That's why wait for the right time. Bring yourself back to the right mental state and then use the right charisma style. So we've spoken about 4 charisma styles, what they mean, how to use, how to develop, and how to choose the right charisma for you. So I would say that the right charisma for me is kindness and visionary charisma. What do you think? What is best for you? So write down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the button below. I'll see you in my next videos.